Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of this podcast and this channel. Today we're going to be talking about my experience in BSA summer camp and how I did this year in summer camp. Now, some of you are scouts and you know about the Scouting America and what BSA is, but for those of you who are watching my video and have no context on what scouts are, BSA Scouts, also known as Scouting America, is basically a youth leadership organization that teaches children from the ages of 12 to 18 outdoor survival skills, leadership, and much more, like lifelong traits that they'll keep throughout their life and help them later on. As you might know, it has different ranks that you can earn, such as Scout, Tenderfoot, Second Class, First Class, Star, Life, and finally Eagle. It has also various merit badges to choose from, over 200, a lot of merit badges, and it's a very good program. Now, as you know, Scouts teaches kids outdoor survival skills, so of course they have to go camping and on campouts and on trips. It's also community service, so you might have to go on service projects, help the community, and a part of being an Eagle is doing your Eagle project, which is service to your community. Also, you go on epic trips like hikes. We went to West Point once, the military academy, and much more, and we have a lot of fun. It's not just about learning, it's also having a great time and making new friends. This organization is split into different troops, and each troop has patrols, which are essentially teams for the scouts inside of it, where they all collaborate on trips. They cook their own meals on competitions like a winter derby like Klondike in my region. They all participate in one group. And there's also different leadership positions within the troop, such as patrol leader, which manages the patrols as given in the name, senior patrol leader, which manages the entire troop's leadership. But then there's also adult positions, such as scoutmaster, who is the adult responsible for overviewing the entire troop. Now, a part of BSA Scouts is also long trips, such as summer camps, leadership programs, or NYLT, if you guys know. Summer camp is a week long camp out, essentially, which takes place with multiple troops inside of one campsite. And meals are in the dining hall, so you don't have to cook your own food. And wherever you stay is usually a good establishment like a cabin, a lean to, or a canvas tent. This year, I attended summer camp at Rodney Scout Reservation, which is a premier BSA Scout camp right next to the Chesapeake Bay, and the views there were amazing, although it was pretty far. And that camp is known for its water activities, waterfront views, all of that. And the vibes there were very nice. The staff working there were very cheerful, and it was actually very fun. The merit badges there varied, and something I saw in Rodney that I don't see in many other camps are water merit badges such as motorboating, canoeing, kayaking, things like that. The views were very nice, as I said, and every morning our campsite, Windy Point, would receive very beautiful sunrises and sunsets, and throughout the day it would be an amazing experience and view. So now let me start with my experience, and before that I wanted to tell you what I packed for this trip. For trips like summer camp, you stay inside of a cabin, so you would need usually what you would pack when you go on a normal camp out. Only you should be expected to camp with an open tent. What I mean by this is that bugs can usually enter your tent, even bite you, which you don't want to happen. In most summer camps, you stay in lean-tos or canvas tents, and the openings in front of them are open, so bugs can freely enter and leave whenever they want. So that's why I packed a bug net, and this was essential to keeping those bugs out. This net helped me a lot, and it was basically my own little dome that protected me from those bugs. Inside that, it was all normal things. If you watched my previous video, I told you what you would pack on a normal camp out. So it was normal things like my sleeping bag and all that. But something different that I did was I didn't pack my mess kit, and I didn't bring my backpacking backpack. I took a big bin and I packed all my things inside of that. Now, on normal camping trips, you wouldn't bring a big bin to put all your things inside of it and take it in your tent because it would take up too much space. But since summer camp is a long camp out, that you need a lot of stuff. So that's why they recommend bringing foot lockers or big bins, which you can fit all of your stuff inside and slide it under your cot. Our cots fit approximately two people, and I also bought a camp chair, which was great for sitting on the evenings and looking at the bay in front of us. We got to see the boats, the bay in front of us, and the other side of the bay, which is amazing. We also saw some merit badges such as canoes going past and kayaks, and we were pretty high in the mountains. Now, the drive from where I live in New Jersey was pretty far. It was about 3 hours, and it was pretty tiring, but definitely worth the wait. When we arrived at camp, we first settled at camp. We got a tour. We did our swimming test in the pool, which is really far from our campsite, and thankfully, I didn't have any merit badges there because it was pretty far. Then we had a barbecue, which was pretty good. It took place on the parade field where there was an opening ceremony, and then we went back to our campsite to settle down again. Then we went back to another sort of second part of the open ceremony where they performed skits and things like that. The next morning, resumed my day, and it was a fresh start. And my merit badges were motorboating, emergency preparedness, along with safety merit badge. It was a combined merit badge, canoeing, lunch, wood carving, archery, shotgun, and dinner. This was my order throughout the day, but sometimes it could get little bit tiring because my merit badges required a lot of work. On the first day, it was all about learning the skills and sitting down and doing all the paperwork. For motorboating, we discussed what it takes to drive a boat. They checked if we had our licenses, our prerequisites, and all of that. And there were various motorboats. There were three motorboats in total, and two for water sports merit badge. And the motorboats were located about 100 feet in the bay, so we had to swim to get to the boats because they couldn't drive into shallow water. My next merit badge was emergency preparedness, and throughout the week emergency preparedness was just a paperwork merit badge. It was sort of like a lesson or like a school subject where you learned about emergency hazards, how you can prevent them. So that was what went in that merit badge. The next one I had was canoeing. We couldn't canoe that day, but we did practice bringing our paddles into the water and practicing the strokes and all of that. Then we had lunch, and lunch was pretty fun. It was family style, but we luckily got lunch B, which meant lunch A. We had time to go open archery, open shooting, all of that. And this brings me to the meals. We have three meals in a day, which are breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast takes place early on in the day, but before breakfast, we have morning sunrise activities such as the morning bay hike, open swim in the morning, all of that, which I'll come back to later. Breakfast usually consists of a family style waitering system where three waiters or however many waiters your troop might need go early to the dining hall, pick up the food, set up the table, and bring all of it. Then they clean up at the end of the meal. So breakfast usually contained of something normal like pancakes and eggs, and then they had a fruit bar also open for whoever wanted fruits, yogurt, and granola. So that was a really good option. And for lunch, we had normal lunch foods like pizza, and they also had a salad bar. Then for dinner, we had usually had a heavier meal like spaghetti, and they had the salad bar again. Now back to what I was talking about. After lunch, I would resume my day to wood carving, which was all the way up Bull Mountain Studios, also known as Bull Stew for some reason. And it was a pretty far walk, and the hill up was really exhausting to climb, and especially in that hot weather, which was more than 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It was really difficult, and a lot of people skipped merit badges up there, or just didn't go. But every day I had to climb up that hill to go to wood carving, and the worst part was that our merit badge was on the top of the hill, and we sat in the outdoors. But I wouldn't say that the merit badge was the worst part. I still love the merit badge, and it was definitely worth the climb. But something else that was also there was the trading post, which was air conditioned, and that was also a good thing to have. They also had a volleyball court and a goggle ball pit in that area. So scouts usually played sports there, and after my merit badge, I would usually go play a game or go to the trading post. After that, I would walk down Bull Mountain, Bull Stew, and then I would attend Shotgun Merit Badge, which is one of the most difficult merit badges I've had so far. we had to get 24 out of 50 or 12 out of 24 twice or 48% of our shots correct to in order to pass the merit badge. And it was pretty difficult, and we had two options, which were the pump and the semi-auto, and I soon found out that I was better at the semi-auto than the pump. Then after that we had archery, where it was also one of the most difficult merit badges, but not as hard as shotgun, where we had to get 160 points combined, three short range and three long range, which I managed to pass both of them through luck, through skill and dedication, and also some open time. And then we had dinner after that. But before dinner, we also had some open activities or some free time to do whatever, because again, we were meal B, so we had time when meal A was going on to wander around and do whatever we want. Then after dinner, we would usually go back to the campsite, take a break, chill out, go to open activities, stuff like that, and then we would settle in for the night. So now I'm going to talk a little bit more specific on what happened throughout the day. Motorboating consisted of us scouts getting ready, changed, and hopping into the boats immediately. On the first few days, it was mainly the instructor showing us how to turn the boat, drive the boat, and things like that. And then I think on the third day, we were allowed to drive the boat, which was an amazing experience. I loved it, and it was really entertaining. It was my first time driving a motorboat, and it was really fun. Then after that, we had emergency preparedness and safety, and as I said, it was the same thing. We usually sat in the dining hall because it was so hot under the fan, and we would do all the requirements, listen to what our teacher counselor was telling us, and practicing emergency scenarios like making a stretcher for an injured person. Then after that, we had canoeing, where we took our canoes out to the water immediately, and we would start paddling, going in circles. We had an obstacle course once. I remember on the last day of camp, we had a fight with the kayaks, where we had to try to capsize the other team, and unfortunately, the canoes lost because we were so heavy. And while I was getting out of the canoe, it fell on my head, so that wasn't a good experience. But it was really fun, and we had to carry the canoes back to shore full of water. Then after that, we had some free time while lunch A was going on, and in that time, shotgun and archery allowed scouts to go into open shoot. So I think on my third or fourth day, I passed the requirement, so I didn't have to go to open shoot anymore. So on the last day, I decided to go open climbing. Then, when it came around for lunch, if I was waiter, I would go early. And after lunch, I would climb bull stew again and go to wood carving. In wood carving, I made three projects. One, which was a screwdriver made out of wood block. The second and third were two neckerchiefs. The first one was a canoe, and the second one was an eagle, and it was really fun. We learned the basics of how to operate the pocket knife and carving knife and whittling, as some people call it. Then next, I had shotgun. It was, as I told you, we shot at clay targets. The targets would shoot, and they would go pretty high, about a few feet in the air, and we would have to shoot them. Then I had archery. There was a short course, and there was a long range course, so that was also pretty exciting. After that, we had some free time. So during dinner A, we usually did the same thing we did during lunch A, wandered around, did things. And I usually went up Bull Stew again to play a round of Gaga Ball with the rest of my troop, because the our troop had planned to play Gaga Ball every day during that time. Then before lunch, before dinner, we would go back to the campsite, change into Class A, and go to dinner, because they require all scouts to wear Class A before dinner. And after a good meal during dinner, we would have open activities in the evening. Now, going to open activities, the camp had various activities, but if you didn't sign up for the merit badge, then you would also have a choice to go to the open. So in the morning, they had a morning bay hike, where you could take a hike inside the bay and watch the beautiful sunrise. And in the evening, if you took it, then you could watch the beautiful sunset, and you could also go tubing, which when other scouts told me about it, sounded really fun. Some other options included um, something in the nest lodge, a few crafts, open archery, open shotgun, open climbing, open swimming, things like that. And even if you don't sign up for them, they might just let you in anyways. So the beautiful views are amazing, and it was really fun in Rodney Scout Camp, and I really enjoyed it overall. So if you guys are planning to go to summer camp, or if you've already gone to a summer camp, please drop a comment down below. Tell me how your experience was, if you have any questions. So that's all, guys. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and please tune in for more. Bye.